I watched all of the anime airing this season to give you a rundown of the shit you should watch, or I don't and just shitpost, without giving you any genuine reason to watch the shows besides curiosity. I'm already incredibly fucking late if you're watching this, so are you in getting your priorities together without wasting any more of your time? Let's go! Coming from the genre of this weekly shonen jump manga is popular, so it is going to be a part of the new big three, trademark. We have Jujutsu Kaisen. The story follows our MC Itadori, fucking up and eating an ancient forbidden special curse artifact, the Finger of Sukuna, after which he basically Kuramas this ancient all-powerful curse and becomes buddies with him. Him being a vessel capable of handling Sukuna opens a door to the Jujutsu Society of whatever the fuck their name is this time for racing them like curse thingies once and for all. Thus, he's promptly enrolled in a Jujutsu school because of course he is. We're talking about anime here. On a mission to find all these fingers, devour them, and then get killed. Although coming from the pretty generic shonen premise, the show has amazing potential. Being done by Studio Mappa means we get absolutely bombastic action. The cast introduced so far has been one of my favorites of this season. They have greats like Macho Gorilla, Carpenter Edition, a fucking panda,
Sasuke
and Kakashi, Megumi and Gojo, and the cherry on top, combat is expressed with such vibrant and calmingly good colors, not even mentioning the great use of camera work, all this giving the show all the right cards to, now excuse me, I hate this overplayed comparison, but gives it all the right cards to become the Demon Slayer of 2020, or at least the before episode 19 Demon Slayer, which is still pretty good. Next we have Cyberpunk 2077. But with attitude. Being written by the Danganronpa author and coming from an old genre of criminal people to criminal things, comes the next entry this season, Akudama Tribe. My favorite part so far has been our cast of criminals, which is included but not limited to Uwogan, but with dreads, crazy nurse bitch, cool guy because he smokes and has a bike and a gun I guess, and member of the Zoldyck family. As you can see, our cast is very varied. Talking about the look, this art style just feel like someone jizzed color, punk and cyber all over my screen to just skullfuck my brain with dopamine, and I'm all for it. The combat animation is also nothing to scoff at, just look at him throw the knife. He threw a knife, that's so fucking cool. And I'm not even mentioning the opening, which makes me want to stop Truckton right before isekaiing another high school student, empty Truckton of gasoline, light Truckton the high school child on fire with said gasoline, and then set the song on loop. Yeah, pretty good show. Probably gonna keep on watching. Coming from the isekai corner we have... Wait, are we getting a fantasy adventure show without unnecessary isekaiing?
It's been 84 years.
The smuggiest witch of the season, Elena, aims to travel the world and document her adventure on the way. With such a simple premise, the story isn't bound to some gimmicks, just offering a straight-to-the-point adventure anime with great visuals and a fitting, relaxing OST, each episode also ending with a message, which has been a pretty fun addition so far. Thusly, if your heart flutters for a simple adventure anime, will probably be a welcome surprise for you. Have you ever wondered how a sports anime would look if the MC isn't a high school student? Jotaro, yes, Jotaro, was a gymnast star in his prime. However, now being 29 and suffering from a serious shoulder injury, his career is on the brink of retirement. However, after sheltering a young fugitive ninja boy, the boy changes his mindset about gymnastics, giving him a second wind for the art which defines his whole being. There's only one characteristic I can use to describe this show, and that is charming. The animation, also being done by Mappa, is good. The art style isn't anything groundbreaking, nor is the OST, but I just love the overall vibe this show gives me, and it's no jokes my personal underdog for this season. Give it a shot, see if you like it. If you do, great, I did my job. If not, fuck it, I'm loving it all the same. Fuck. Coming from the studio that makes people cry, we have yet another tearjerker. Kami-sama ni Nattahi follows two main characters, Yota, a typical high school student, and Haru, who is the greatest of gods, the supreme deity herself, God Odin. Upon the two of them meeting and playing some rad basketball, Haru reveals to Yota that she is the Odin, using omnipotence, revealing the fact that the world is kind of ending in 30 days. Being done by PA Works means the art is great, and so is the music we've seen so far, but as my main compliment though is patience with the character development. Even with the limited 12-episode runtime, they're setting up each episode with some sort of almost self-contained mischievous happening, which Haru guides Yota through, attempting to divert us from the probably, or should I say, hopefully, crushing ending. This season, we're also receiving a show straight from the pearly gates of Yuri romance. Adachi to Shimamura follows two girls, Adachi and Shimamura, who, after randomly meeting upon skipping school together, start forming a beautiful relationship, exploring what friendship truly means, and what its boundaries with love are, which includes Yuri's sexual tension. Talking about the audio-visual aspect, there isn't much special tonight. The art, animation, character designs, and music are all just adequate.
3.6. Not great, not terrible.
What I do feel like makes this special though is the characters and their interactions. This is done beautifully through playing with the perspective of who's the MC for a given scene, only letting us see the MC's inner thoughts, not the other characters. As a result, mimicking real-life interactions where we can't really see what's going on in the other person's head. That's probably for the better. Have you ever given 2 fucks about Sherlock? No? Me neither. If you have though, the name of the next anime might ring a bell for you. Yukoku no Moriarty centers around Moriarty, Sherlock's archenemy and also my favorite MC this season. Why? Well, for starters, unlike his book counterpart, he's fucking hot. Just those demon red eyes and the blonde hair and his dapper suit, combined with his personality similar to Light's, although with less of God syndrome and more of questionable morals, if that's even possible, makes a great villain MC for the yet absent Sherlock to quarrel with. Moving on to the show itself, it has all the right things that make a great detective anime. A unique setting, intriguing characters, animation made by Production IG, and pretty art style. In some scenes, again, reminiscent of Death Note. I'm just waiting for Sherlock to get introduced in some sort of newspaper with a large S symbol as his secret logo, and the show is a masterpiece in my books. Synopsis and title name is often deceiving, and such is the case in the next series on this list. No no Nana presents a generic synopsis of superhuman kids going to a school for superhuman kids. This is only partly accurate, however. There is also no way for me to describe the true character of this series without gargantuan spoilers. This is one of those 1 in 100 shows where the twist actually hits, and hits hard, even managing to follow it up in the following episodes. Please don't let yourself get spoiled on this gem in the rough, and do yourself a favor and watch this. It's pretty fucking good. Every now and then comes a show which makes you want to cuddle up in your sheets with a hot cocoa and just giggle a bit at the serenity of life while watching some cute girls do something cute. This show is not it. Do you see this face? Do not let this human or demon or whatever fiend she is deceive you. This is the registry of only some of her crimes. Extinction of all ghost routes in the castle. Elimination of the Ice Clan leader. Robbery of valuable artifacts and manipulation of the entire Teddy Demon population. Releasing of the forbidden grimoire. Do I need to continue? But on the other side, look at her. She's so small. She could never hurt a soul. And look at her stealing this rare potion. Ah, it's so comfy and pure. Oopsies, she stole Demon Lord's strongest weapon. She definitely just wanted to move it to a safer place. She just sleeps. How could she hurt anyone?
Meanwhile,
after a cute girl saves our MC's life, he swears to simp for her for life, if only he could find her. She, however, one day turns up at his door with a marriage proposal. Thus begins their life as newlyweds, both of them oblivious to the wholesomeness this will entail. While the premise may not seem that interesting, the show really plays with the marriage aspect well, adding a lot of nuance to the romance. The art style is super simplistic and seemingly generic, but is still able to express, as I refer to it from now on, pretty well. The characters also have their own little quirks and faults which make them pretty fun to watch. This show just wraps you up in a blanket of comfiness while spoon-feeding you extremely cute moments for 24 minutes every week, and I love it. The opening is also pretty nice. Who's playing awful music in here? Psh. Hey, a large percentage of people are not subscribed to this channel, so if you enjoy... Sorry, we have a different public service announcement. Oh, yeah, Attack on Titan is coming out.
Worse enemies. You're bigger, bigger. Why do you hide? I was cheaper, cheaper. It's suicide, but it's the soul inside. So give a call or run. You're a zero.
Holy shit, Attack on Titan is coming back and coming back strong. Everyone mark your calendars for December 7th with the harrowing AOT letters and Impact font, and prepare your assholes because a legend is coming back for its fucking throne. I repeat, this is not a drill, this is coming out, and so am I for Aaron's abs. Jesus Christ, I'm so fucking hyped. This will ruin the anime community. If not, you have full permission to blast me for eternity. Noblesse is a weird one to review. I started very confused and honestly disappointed after watching the OVA and first duel of episodes, as this was hyped up as the last of the big three of web novels getting adapted, and it was pretty painfully mediocre. But now, after catching up to some later episodes, I must say, I'm pretty pleasantly surprised. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a masterpiece or even a come-worthy show, but it at least sets itself apart from its predecessors, removing the bombastic action in every episode and focusing more on the story and characters and a bit of slice of life stuff, which is a welcome change, looking at you out of high school. With the character and story focus, this is much more of a slow burner. For some people, me kind of included, too slow to keep their attention, which is a shame because the anime isn't absolutely terrible. The art style is pretty unique, opening of note, combat, decent, however, what later episodes will hold, questionable. Overall, it's like a strong 6 with a possibility of a light 7 if it keeps up what it's doing well right now and focusing on improving it even further. The story centers around our MC, a pussy bitch boy, getting involved with a group of gun smugglers, having been forced to join them on being convicted of crimes he didn't do. A mainly episodic narrative doesn't change that he is still indeed a pussy bitch boy. The writer's really trying to shove us that, look guys, look, he's maybe gonna be cool later on, he's just annoying pussy now, he's gonna get better, and I can give 2 fucks about his generic archetypes out of his anus ass. The opening is pretty unique though, I like the opening. Every now and then comes a series which on paper doesn't sound amazing, but it has just enough little nuances and quirks which make it quality. Sometimes the exact opposite happens, and that's my main gripe with this show. Ikebukuro Westgate Park is a novel adaptation centering around 2 gangs in Ikebukuro, the G-Boys and Red Angels, and the mishaps and troubles they get into every day. The character designs are great, the episodic detective narratives, although pretty predictable, are still interesting enough to keep your attention. It has good animation, everything that makes it sound great. On paper, that is. The show for me lacks some sort of nuance or quirk, which limits it to just being good. Not great as it has the potential to be. On the more lighthearted side, we have a show about a cat, dog, and their owner. The cat being Hitler, and the dog being the cutest being alive, creates an incredibly cute and even chuckle-worthy ride. It's only around 2 minutes per episode, so you have no excuse. Check it out. For those of you who don't care about Dragon Quest, it's a children's fantasy show, enjoyable by adults, now finally getting a pretty good adaptation. For those of you who care about Dragon Quest, it's a Dragon Quest anime. One day, pillars appeared all around the world, causing massive destruction to the entire planet. Upon seeing humanity incapable of dealing with this threat, Odin decides to send down cute girls, which will use planes to destroy these said pillars. Watching the show is like having a 5-minute jack-off session. You come in not expecting much and get exactly what you came for. Not much. Not much in terms of animation, not much in characters, not much in story, just a quick job, which sadly lasts longer than 5 minutes in this case. And instead of Euphoria, I only came out with this one scene is pretty slick, a supposed remake of the original Higurashi anime, but they fool us, and it's actually set in an alternate universe, which spoils many of the plot twists of the original timeline, and was just falsely advertised as a remake to heckle you for your attention coins. Next, we move on to the accursed... Ew, I stepped in shit. Again? Do you still give a fuck about isekai? I sure don't, and this season seemingly doesn't either, delivering some of the most lukewarm shit we have seen in a long time, with one exception. An antisocial high schooler gets transformed into an alternate world with 2 of his female classmates. However, he's the underdog. What? And he can respawn. Wow. And he's kind of a bad person at times. Amazing. I was kind of hoping it's going to at least try to be a ReZero ripoff with the whole respawn mechanic thingy, but they do the old switcheroo from hopelessness when in face of an undefeatable foe to an absolutely generic isekai plot with a harem of girls. Did you like bookworm isekai? Well, prepare for its shitty cousin, the boy and the slimes. A middle-aged businessman gets transported to another world in a young boy's body, retaining some pretty OP abilities into this new life. He, however, decides he wants to live with slimes, because they like clean his dishes and eat his shit, I don't know. Watch the boy and the slimes and later also other people just being not interesting at all in this masterpiece of a sleep lullaby. I wanted to shit all over this show for having one of the weirdest isekai spins I've seen. Just a girl gets transported into another world with a bear outfit. But then I remembered I enjoy overly sparkly and colorful anime with a chaotic main character, and this is all those things, but with bears and isekaiing. It's cute and pretty funny at moments. That's as much of an honest review I'm capable of giving you. If you're doing categories now, this season we also have got quite a lot of music anime, so let's go through them. This show is the description of so bad it's good. Let me explain. All violence and weaponry was forbidden in this world, so logically, what's the best new alternative to conflict? They decided, you know what, rap battles are the solution. You would think, okay, that kind of makes sense. Like, at least the rap battles can't cause any physical harm. But then, a criminal takes an entire cafe hostage with a belt of not dynamite, but fucking microphones. Look, that just looks so fucking stupid, and it doesn't make any sense. Why would you ban weaponry when the microphones just become the new weapons? They can, like, also almost kill people with sound and shit. Aha! Imagine, you're walking down the sidewalk, coming home from buying your weekly groceries, and a guy assaults you, threatening to steal your money, but with not a knife or a gun, but with a Blue Yeti. Your only solution, as a plebeian non-streamer, is to wait for the cops equipped with Rode microphones to come. So, to the microphone gang, rise up. We're about to take over the world. I just have to get a better microphone. Hot boys do acting. They sometimes try to make them deeper characters by using their sad backstories and shit. This guy is the most annoying bitch, and this guy is pretty cool. It doesn't suck, but if hot boys aren't your number one fetish, then there's much better stuff to watch. Ever had your favorite manga goat-seed wide open by a 3D adaptation, leading to you developing an incredible fear of any sort of art with the third dimension? This won't fix it, but at least it won't burn your eyes out. D4DJ follows a band of girls DJing in alright 3D. Now, this being a music anime, the music has to be pretty tight, and it actually kind of is. The main track we have been hearing multiple times is pretty catchy. Excuse me. Whoa, 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 tonight. And even excuses the piece plain and generic characters. Everyone has that one story archetype that if any series contains, they will eat it up like a rabid dog. For some, it's the before-mentioned isekai. For others, it may be the trashy lollybaits. For me, it's wholesome dad and daughter stories. And mediocre romance shows, thus belonging to the latter. Two commanders from animations get Romeo and Juliet, forbidden love, conflicting backgrounds, yada yada, and that's the story. It doesn't have animation that makes you want to absolutely cream my boxers, an amazing score to cry to at night, but it has trees, and a generic romance story. Honestly, watching this feels like ordering McDonald's. You feel guilty for enjoying it, but you will, because you're hungry. The same way I'm hungry for human connection. That's not a joke, please talk to me. You know what, guys? We need a new twist on magical girls. Does anybody have any ideas? Make it edgy? That's already been overdone, even by us. Make it etchy? I like where your mind is at, but that's too broad of a subject. Foot and thigh fetish. I love you, Jared. The show takes place in a world where monsters roam the world. To defeat these monsters, a school for lilies, the magical girl protectors of humanity, will set up. With the before-mentioned thighs and feet, this is a masterpiece.
Nothing can ever ruin this.
Some things can ruin this. Oh yeah, this is the good shit. Do you see those stone lines? Oh my fucking god. The absolute peak of attraction. The unrivaled god of fetishes. Those goddamn sweaty abs glistening in the gym locker room. The fractions off of the drops sending my vision to rainbows. Those muscular legs that have run more kilometers than any kind of 10-mile radius. Pristine biceps, triceps, forearms, combined with beautiful lats capable of such immense strength, along with the popping chest that combines with the core to yield superhuman power. Oh, the show. Right. Cute and muscular girls do competitive climbing. Oh, and Dio's also there.
コーチではない。私が登る場に君たちがいるだけだ。
There's a genre accursed in the community, a name whose letters more feared than that of Voldemort's name, a genre bound to great destruction in the male testicles across the entire planet. I shan't dare to speak its name out loud, only in quiet. This season, we have an idol anime, thighs included. A short about capybaras and what they do. With a script a total length of 5 sentences, I have no clue why I watched this, and I regret every second of it. Trained girls advertise themselves. That's the synopsis. Not the good, Azure Lane kind of personified transportation vehicles, just plain bad. The only good thing is, it only has a 3-minute runtime. As demons return to strike humanity after a 100-year slumber, a young knight apprentice figures out he's the son of the king who won the war against him 100 years ago. The story follows his journey to gain the power of the Holy Sword, which his old-ass, dead-ass father used to defeat the Demon Lord. As you can hear, the premise is generic as fuck and so are the characters. Watching the MC feels like watching paint dry. The only characteristic the Paint MC has is that he wants to save his other Paint friends from dying. You get the gist of his personality. Overall, it's painfully mediocre, and with us being spoiled with choice nowadays, mediocrity is not enough. A story of a convenience store, its employees and inhabitants, with one very scary employee with an unknown face, always shrouded in mystery, and sometimes cats. This shit is very, very, very weird and obscure, and honestly, it's not absolutely terrible. It just follows our seemingly eldritch employee trying to help others around him with their flaws and issues to the best of his ability. The only thing I can trash it for is the length, only being around 3 minutes per episode, and obviously the low budget, which could be argued as a positive, resulting in a very simplistic and sketch-like art style. I don't hate this show, but it's just too weird to recommend to any sane person. An anime about cute girls doing comedy. The girls are not that cute. The comedy didn't make me release even a giggle. The story and visuals made me want to fall into an eldritch slumber. 10 out of 10. Anime begin. A guy begs to see random girls coochie and bahanka hanka lungaroos. I won't waste any more letters on this show. That's absolutely terrible. These are the sequels I didn't watch. Hey, thank you for making it all the way towards the end of the video. If you have gotten to this point, hey, I really appreciate you. This is my first video on this channel, and if you want to see more from me, and if you want to see me evolve and produce better content, you know, maybe hit that subscribe, yeah? And yeah, that's about everything from me. Fuck off.